Well, we are back at it again. We are in the Catskills. We're at the Slide Mountain parking area, and we are going to kind of start from here, and we're gonna hike south. Yeah, it's south through the valley area to Table Mountain, and I don't know how well it's going to show up. So we're like right up here, and we're going to hike down this Denning Road. That's the typical trailhead that people use for Table, and then we're going to go and summit Table, which is 3,800 feet. One of the reasons why I chose this trailhead, it makes the hike a little longer, and doing it as an overnight, don't mind it being a little longer. And this is a bigger trailhead than the one that's off Denning Road, and this thing is packed. Like, we started parking on the road at first, but was able to move the car and get in the actual lot. But yeah, it's busy today. But Slide's a popular mountain, and this is the shorter way to hike to it, so it makes a lot of sense. But I have Kurt with me. He's signed the registry currently. But yeah, we're gonna go and get started. It's like what, like right around noon?
11:35.
Yeah, so 11:35, not a bad start, considering on the way stopped paying attention and went about 30 miles out of the way.
I wasn't gonna say anything.
So, but not horrible. One of the things for this this trail, this hike, is not too far from the Table summit. There's a shelter, and what is supposed to be a fairly reliable water source up there. And from Table, it's a little less than a mile one way, well, each way. If you want to continue past Table, you can go to Peakamoose. I've already been to Peakamoose. I don't know if Kurt's been to Peakamoose, but I was at Peakamoose 2 winters ago. Thought I dropped something. 2 winters ago, and I did that, and it was a nice hike. That's one of the summits where the views aren't directly from the summit. It's more off of the summit, where you'll see some really nice views. So we may include that one on this hike. Came across this awesome down tree. Just tons of mossy goodness right here. We have an awesome campsite So the trail is right over there. Here's the bridge. The trail comes up that way. The site that we're at right now is awesome. The one that's right across this little stream. You just have to walk across some stones. That's nice. There is a tree that's leaning there. That was a bit of a concern. So we pushed further over in this direction. And right over there, hidden in those trees, is a very nice spot where you can throw the hammock right along the stream edge. So we worked our way in deeper, and there's like these little fingers that come out and separate the streams. So that little landmass there on their side is another runoff spot. We crossed that, and there's another spot. This place is big. It's kind of like this area where it has two fire rings, a really nice fire ring. But that's going to be home for the night. Gonna throw the backpack on, and we'll show it to you when we get back over there. Here's the awesome campsite we found. This is a massive area. You could fit a lot of people here. A lot of room for hammocks, a lot of room for tents. We have two pre-made benches. Really solid fire ring. Someone left a little bit of kindling for us. Having the wood to have like a big sustained fire probably be a little hard to scrounge up here since it's so popular. But we opted to come down to the end of this little peninsula thing. Kurt's gonna go right over there. There's the setup for the night. I decided not to go with the bank over there because there was some either rocks or down trees kind of protruding out, and I would have most likely hit them while laying down. This side of the bank though gives me nice clearance side to side, and I'll have that view of the stream. The tarp, it's not supposed to rain tonight, so I have no intention of leaving the tarp up, but from our trip to go see Burnwood, we learned our lesson about tarp pitches and stuff while we're going to be away from camp. So all the rain that was supposed to happen today has already happened, but we are in the mountains and you just never know. So tarp's up, I have good coverage. If we were to get a freak storm of any kind, I should be good to go. And then I'll come back and the tarp will come down and have a nice clear night. So that's what we're looking at. Kurt's there, same thing. He's putting his tarp up just to play it safe while we're gone, and we go summit these mountains. And you said you're gonna go netless too, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So he's gonna go netless and have full exposure, which it's a good night to do it. When I, huh?
Sound not afraid.
No. When I checked the peak forecast before we left, it said the low up top is supposed to be like 40, 41, something like that. So down here, it shouldn't be as cold, but it'll be chilly with the stream so close. But that means no bugs. Even our hike today, we haven't experienced any issues with bugs, and neither of us are using any kind of bug deterrent. But that's it for our camp setup. The next time I see you guys, we should be hiking on our way up. That right there's a blue blaze. We are back. We are back on the trail. So we're gonna be cutting up this way. Beautiful area though. I know there's a shelter up higher and everything, but unless you're like a designated shelter camper, which some people are, but if you're not, the sites down here are, oh man, they're all awesome. Totally recommend any of these sites to people. And if you have a group, camping down here might be more beneficial than staying at the shelter. There is no shortage of moss through this area. Moss and ferns for as far as you can see. Yep, we're going straight up this. Man, it's a gorgeous day. So for me, the bad thing about this is I haven't hiked since my solo trip. That's almost a month ago now. Actually, no. Yeah, about a month. So I'm definitely feeling it. Mostly in the calves. The calves are not happy. I believe we have a vista. I'll go scope it out. Oh, that's pretty cool. It's gonna be really windy, so I'm not sure if you guys will be able to hear me. Look at that. Take that in for a moment. I apologize for the wind. Dude, that's awesome.
Wow, this is cool. Holy crap.
Yep. Found it. There's table and chair. So shelter's that way. Not quite there. But there is a spring before you get there. It's pretty clearly marked. The back sign is the one you would see coming from Denning like we did. And the one directly in front of us when you're heading down, it's the more visible, but it's definitely signed. So we're gonna go down here and see if it's flowing at all. It is, and it's not very far down. From my experience in the Catskills, if it's a marked spring, I've never seen one dry, unless it's
The one over between Slide and Cornell, I think it's gone.
well. Okay, so that spring, I should.
Oh, not signed though.
Yeah, that's marked on that one he's talking about from the slide trip. That is marked on a map, but I don't know how old that map is. But I mean, ones that are actually signed. There actually is a sign that says spring, or just something referring to water. I've never seen one of those dry. If anything like this, it'll kind of be a trickle. But this is still totally doable. It's not flowing too terribly.
Oh, that might not be a chipmunk. That might be a turkey.
Well, we've come this far. Might as well go check it out. And we are not far past the stream. It was a steady, decent climb with like one sort of aggressive climb, and bam, lean-to. And just like that, there it is. It's a nice little shelter area. We have reached one of my favorite parts of Catskills. From those of you that watch my other Catskill videos know, I love whenever we come across that sign. Today, however, it also signifies that we have the hard climb coming up. We've got to the summit. It's just a little bit after that vista point that we had. And one thing you'll notice in the Catskills, a lot of the summits are kind of like in, and I've seen quite a few marked with just with cairns like that. But now we have the like mile 0.6 round trip to go to Peakamoose and back. We just passed the summit of Peakamoose and got out to this view. It's a really nice look over the ranges, and the Shotgun Reservoir is over there. That's the one that we had a nice view from Wittenberg. And it's nice that it's such a clear day. You can see pretty far before it gets hazy. This is the summit marker. In the wintertime, I didn't know that. Everything was buried in snow, so I didn't know if there was a marker, and I just didn't see it. But yeah, GPS confirms. That's our pile of rocks. It's quite the pile. As usual, the camera is not going to do this justice. I mean, some of the colors are coming through, but it's darker in the woods than what the camera makes it look out to be, or look to be. So the colors are impressive. Ooh. Yep. The colors are impressive either way, but yeah. We finally broke out the headlamps. We actually got pretty far with our natural night sight, but we got to kind of a technical climb, so definitely needed the headlamps for that, just to avoid any potential dangers with rocks and roots and everything. Night hiking can be fun. You just have to be smart about it. That's all. And just make sure you have a good headlamp and it's either freshly charged or has good batteries in it. Good morning from the hammock. It is just before 8 o'clock. It's like 7:55. It was a beautiful night. It didn't get too chilly at all. Actually, a few parts of the night ended up being warmer than I thought I'd be. Even with being down towards the stream, it wasn't that chilly. I was able to go tarpless all night. I did leave my tarp like half pitched up here, like behind me. I did that just in case, you never know if it's gonna rain or not. But this is my view. Last night, it was, fairly dark, almost full dark when we got back to camp. So I didn't film anything, but when we were having our dinner, we had this mouse just running around crazy. If you check out Kurt's video of this trip, you'll get to see it better because he actually caught the little guy on camera. But we first saw him, he came over and almost got to my bag of mashed potatoes before I chased them off. And then he like ran over to Kurt's side and was like actually up on the stone bench that Kurt was sitting on, and actually got on Kurt's backpack. So the whole time we were eating dinner and just lounging out before we went to bed, these mice were running all around us trying to get at our stuff. Now, you said you've never really had rodent problems, right?
Never.
Yeah, I've never had any issues with any rodents or anything. Like my food bag, I switched from like a standard bag you hang to an Ursack, which is supposed to be somewhat bear proof. It's supposed to be really hard for them to get into it, but Kurt and I talk about this all the time. I don't really care too much about bear. I take proper precautions. I'm not really worried about them getting my stuff. It's the rodents. That's what I worry about, because they'll climb ropes, they'll climb trees, they'll get into stuff that other animals won't. But Kurt had a fun experience.
So, I'm laying here. I got my bug net off, and I'm just kind of looking up at the stars, and I hear, unless you've ever been in a hammock, you won't notice something on the ridge line. You actually hear it through the body of the hammock, and I hear it real close, and then I feel something on my shoulder, and I don't know if it's like a big moth or if it's my imagination. I kind of flick it off, and a couple seconds later, I hear it again down towards my feet, and then I see across the ridge line, right over my head, a mouse come running across. He's right over my head. So I chased him away and put the bug net on all night though. I can hear him over here on the pack, up on it. I'm surprised you can hear me punch in the hammock. I'm hitting it and I hear him run away. They actually.
So where'd you get your strap?
Right here. It doesn't look really bad.
Oh yeah,
but
they definitely chewed a little bit.
Definitely chewed on it. And then there's maybe a quarter size, $half size hole in my food bag.
You know, actually, since you mentioned it, they might have been on my straps, because I do remember at one point when I woke up having that that feeling as if like wind hit.
Yeah, or rain. Like when rain hits it just right, you hear that.
So I'll check my straps later. But yeah, so Kurt had some visitors. He had people, he just had some critters that wanted to cuddle up and stay warm with him. But so yeah, definitely a new experience. It's interesting though, because all times of going without a bug net, never.
I never. And he stopped right over my face. He's like right there, like, don't poop.
Don't poop. But I mean, this is a really popular area, so they're very used to humans being here. There you go. That's what they did to his food bag.
Yep. So all we got was the ramen noodles. So.
Yeah, they only ate his ramen noodles. So.
I didn't like them. They took a bite. They took off.
Oh man, could you imagine if they got your goulash?
That's what I'd love to have. Goulash to say.
All right, I'm gonna get my coffee and my food, and I will talk to you guys in a little bit. That's the sound of a car. We are almost to the parking lot. That's gonna do it for this hike. Had a blast. It was a really good trip. We had fantastic weather. The hiking was good. It was what we expect. It was fun but challenging. And we had an awesome campsite. You really can't ask for much more. I mean, sure, the mice were a little too personable for Kurt's liking, but still, that did not damper the trip at all. One thing we were talking about on the way down is if you're looking at hiking in the Catskills, the conference puts out amazing maps. They're ones we use for all of our trips in this area. And aside from that, there is a website. It's the Catskills Mountaineer. And that site is a really, really good source of information for this area. From everything from like water sources to what type of animals you can expect to encounter in the area that you're looking at hiking. Because the Catskills is a pretty big area with a whole lot of trails, and little by little tackling them all. But I hope you guys enjoyed this hike. I know I thoroughly enjoyed it. I don't know what we're looking at. We're looking at something like 16 miles for the total trip. My GPS map is going to be a little messed up, but yeah, roughly 16 miles total. But yeah, that's going to do it. Hope you guys enjoyed tagging along. See you next time.